should see me before. I was like, let's not catch my hair on fire. I am so excited for this video. This is nothing like I've done before, except I did a little bit of it in my BJJ Fanatics Instructional. Basically, I am going to give you my Nogi Takedown game, which I'm a smaller jiu-jitsu player. Last time I weighed myself, I was 130 pounds. And this game works against bigger players. So you're gonna get the evolution. I'm going to give you like the step-by-step build-up through my progression. So you'll have it, so you can learn from it. And then I'm going to also give the counter moves most frequently used. That way you'll have a counter to a counter. And we'll even include a counter to a counter to a counter. This base technique is what we're building upon. This is the outside trip. This outside trip is low risk. It can be done in Nogi as well as Gi, and I remember also landing it in my first MMA fight. So it's a very high success takedown. Now, if you want to chain together takedowns, this outside trip is a perfect punctuation to finish off the techniques. So let's move to build and chain upon the outside trip. The outside trip is perfect, a wrestler taught me that, to finish off a double leg. So you're chaining together a double leg, and then if you can't seem to get them to the ground, you can, instead of taking a penetrating step, you can use that step to then wrap around their leg and get them to the ground. See, going in for a double, wrap around, push off the back leg, and then here I backstepped and basically did like an ankle pick to hold his leg. And here, same thing, going in for the double leg. And then wrapping the leg around the back. Here, we're adding. So I'm up on a single leg, right? Drive to single leg, I'm running the pipe, I drive, and then I wrap around the back. So here, I'm driving to standing, I'm going to run the pipe, and then I just keep on driving forward, wrap the leg around to finish off the takedown. Now here's a second technique. This is a front headlock throw. The thing I love about the front headlock throw is I'll show you so many moves off of this technique and I'll break down everything for you. Here, I'm gonna show you examples of the front headlock throw. This was also a takedown used by Gordon Ryan. The thing I love about it is it puts you in a great position because your head is above theirs from the get-go. And then on top of that, if you mess up the throw, it's a very low risk because let's say if you just, for example, shooting for a double leg and you're practicing the technique, when you're doing it, 20 times during your training, and if you're the smallest person on the mat, doing a bunch of double legs and getting sprawled on for 60 minutes, it's a loading that you put on your body that you have to put into the calculations of your training because you want to train for longevity. The thing I love about this is when you have the front headlock, it's such a controlling position, and the times when I've messed this up, I basically didn't hold tight enough, and sometimes they slip out, and I basically am on my back with them standing over me. And so you just pulled open guard. I think one time I did mess this up and I ended up like pulling side control, but it's nothing compared to like getting sprawled on or trying to do a judo throw and getting your back taken. So this is the same takedown, and I'm showing you how you can also do a snap down instead of the front headlock throw. Oh, and I added in a little reverse arm wrap from my last video if you want to go check out that. So here you can either do a front headlock throw, or you can use that same head control for a snap down. So now you have two branches of where you can take it. Now let's dive deeper. How the basis of everything is off of this collar tie. So do you see how I am wrapping my arm around his head and using my forearm to maintain distance? This helps you defend against being double-legged because that forearm is preventing them from accessing your legs. The key thing, the key common denominator with this front headlock throw and the snap down and everything is getting this collar tie. You can see here, collar tie. And now. Now, the second step is collar tie to front headlock. So after you get control of their head, you want to stuff their head into your armpit, or you want to swivel to get your arm up over their head. So your collar tie, front headlock. So I have his head and his arm in my arms. That's the front headlock if you didn't know. Here's another look. I'm using the forearm to push their head under my arm. And this is usually done, when I first started, it would be very blatant. Like I would try to do it once they catch on, they'll posture up really hard. What I really like to do is just playing with that collar tie and just play with it a bit. Like work on using your forearm to control their shoulder and push against the shoulder. Here, I was just learning. Like this is one of my first times like doing it live. So you could see I just went for it. Like my first coach would be like, just like two virgins on a prom date. All right, so once you get a front headlock, two options. You can snap down and notice my head position. Like you really want to have your chin like between their scapula, like resting on their shoulders. That is really good head control because you want to be able to put all of your weight onto their head. It's like they are carrying, for me, 130-pound weight on their head. And when that weight hits the ground, either by a snap down or by using a leg position like the ukiwaza with one leg straight, you can imagine how that feels. I mean, have you ever, next time you're at the gym, go like tie a weight around your head, like even a 25-pound weight, like that is really difficult. Sometimes there is a graceful roll onto mount, and sometimes it's a bit of a scramble. Like you'll see right here. And here's that basic front headlock snap down to side turtle. And you can do any of my I have crucifix game from there that I did videos on, as well as my last video to show you this arm bar. Now, a lot of their takedowns are going to be predicated upon this arm drag. So be forewarned, like when you use this live, like a lot of people love that arm drag. Now, when you get the collar tie, people are going to defend it, most frequently by using a Russian tie. See, that's the Russian tie movement right here. Do you see how we stripped the collar tie? And do you see how off of that I was still able to capture the head? Here you can see he's trying to do it, but I have such a solid grip. Okay, now this is a move I recently got, and it was like light bulbs went off. Okay, first of all, I get the front headlock, right? And off of the front headlock, I didn't know this, but an arm drag can be used as a counter to the front headlock. But as you know, the arm drag is also, look at this. Do you see that? And arm drags are also a setup. So whether the arm drag is used as a setup for their takedown or as a counter against your front headlock, this same movement applies. So do you see how I kept a hold of his arm and I used the outside trip, but my head is in a different orientation? Well, not my head, my arm. My right arm, typically you're around them like a body lock for the outside trip. However, for this outside trip, keep the arms in the same orientation as the arm drag, hold on to their arm, and then reach backward while you're still in front of their torso, and then wrap your leg around as if you're doing the outside trip to then get the outside trip off their arm drag. So I definitely want to show you that, because then it's like you have the outside trip as an answer to either their setup for a takedown using an arm drag, or if you get the collar tie and they do the Russian grip, the Russian tie as a defense, that puts your arm in the same position for this type of takedown. And even if they do an arm drag as a defense against the front headlock, you can then use this. So this is like, before the outside trip was like period, this is like period ... exclamation point. All right, so thank you so much for watching. Wait, let me hold on 1 second. So next coming up is Ode to Failures. Believe me, I could have put a lot more clips in here. Yeah, but ain't nobody got time for that. All right, so enjoy, remember, failure is literally part of the process. Learning to love failure and knowing that you're improving if you're failing is very freeing, actually, because typically it's like, as humans, we're kind of taught to be afraid of failure, and to, feel bad when failure happens. But if we can shift our mind frame to like integrate failure and love it as part of the process, and make fun clips. Like, I was actually laughing at the I thought that was funny. Anyway, so thank you so much for watching. Keep on training, keep on failing, and until next time, bye.